went and did a podcast, a white podcast. You sat your for almost 2 hours
and didn't leave.
And you talk. And the white folk asked you, was you a professional officer?
Yeah.
We would have never asked you that, nigga. We got respect for you.
Right.
And you sat right there and you answered that question so eloquently, like it wasn't even disrespectful. And then I get to sit back and watch that. And what's the difference between them and us?
Okay.
Now I feel disrespect.
Right.
Don't do us like that.
Man, the internet has been going wild ever since Rick Ross and DC Young Fly went back and forth. Nobody expected this matchup, and the moment it popped off, the whole timeline lit up like a festival. What started as a tiny joke suddenly turned into a full-on viral showdown, and people are still arguing about who really came out on top. It all began when Ross hopped online talking slick, trying to make DC look like some small-time comedian who didn't belong in his space. Ross dropped this video where he acted like the biggest boss alive, leaning back with cigars, fancy cars, and that I run the world energy while saying comedians needed to stay in their section.
Since he walked off on
y'all? We were just talking to Angie Martinez about that yesterday. We in Atlanta, so we run into him all the time. He do car shows. They ain't never been no hard feeling.
I don't want to say no hard feeling.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, first of all, I don't give.
Yeah, I get it.
But I give a because
try to make it.
You as a person.
Yeah.
We the type of people that will never bring up nothing that we feel like that can be diminished to your career or anything, nigga, because we some real niggas.
Yeah.
The moment you leave our show.
But DC wasn't letting that slide for a second. DC fired back so fast and so smooth that the internet couldn't believe it. His timing, his delivery, everything was razor sharp. Folks instantly said Ross had chosen the wrong person to joke with because DC Young Fly is built for this type of heat. People forget he sharpened his skills roasting legends on Wild 'N Out for years, and that type of experience turns jokes into straight verbal artillery. So when Ross tried to throw shade, DC flipped the whole situation into pure entertainment.
I'm gonna say, first of all, I don't give a
Yeah, I get it.
But I give a because
try to make it bad.
With you as a person.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before, okay, let's just say before all that happened, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say before all that happened. Bro, I'm listening to you, Ross.
Yeah.
I feel like you wanted to, hey!
Shut the up!
I'm listening to you, Ross. I feel like you probably one of the best lyricists from the South that we got. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you poetic, bro. When I listen to your music, I think you put a lot of time and effort into this.
His response video exploded online within hours, and fans were calling it one of the funniest reactions of the entire year. DC stared directly into the camera with that confident grin and hit Ross with the now iconic line, "Boy, if you don't go sit down with them lemon pepper wings in that act, you still leasing." Man, the way DC delivered that line had people crying from laughing so hard. Social media blew up instantly. Reposts everywhere, memes dropping every second, and reaction videos flooding the timeline like a wave. Even celebrities jumped in the comments saying DC done cooked him, and the joke just kept getting louder every hour. Ross tried to act unbothered at first, posting his usual luxury lifestyle clips like everything was normal. Private jets, cash flashes, that giant promised land mansion. The whole boss image turned up to max volume.
Man, I'm gonna take this jacket off.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you can't.
Man, stay tuned.
You can't take your foot off for nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about for life. Darn, you know what I'm saying? You know, so it's just.
But then you drink.
We could have those debates. We really could.
Teflon was off the chain.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
And I like the way you followed up
time.
hustling with pushing it. Like, how did you know to come right back on their
You got to.
Right.
Man, just don't take the foot off the gas.
But the internet wasn't buying it at all, because every comment section he touched had people dropping jokes like, DC got you, or calling him Wingstop CEO losing this round. It became one of the biggest running jokes online. So Ross decided to clap back again, but it somehow made things even messier. He tried to make fun of DC's career, saying comedians make jokes because they can't make money like bosses, trying to flex while throwing shade at the same time. But that's exactly when DC launched the second blow that everyone still talks about. DC went live and hit Ross with the line that shook the whole internet. Boy, your whole life built on lemon pepper and lies. Fans lost it immediately. It wasn't just the words, it was the tone, the flow.
Bro, listen, man. I came to your podcast. I came for free, homie, no charge. I did it on Face, homie. I didn't ask you what your analytics was and this and that. I came on face, homie, to show love. And don't make it like I walked off on you. I left early. Rose had some other things to do too. But guess what? I came for
the confidence that made it hit like a heavyweight punchline. DC had that natural energy, that street smart flavor mixed with real charisma, and Ross couldn't match that vibe even with all the luxury clips in the world. Then DC pointed out how Ross always tries to present himself like the ultimate boss, but has been caught slipping more than once. From that correctional officer past to people questioning certain moves in his business deals, the internet had receipts ready and the whole situation just kept getting deeper. DC hit Ross with another line that had the whole internet shaking. He said, "How you gonna call yourself the biggest boss when your biggest L's keep going viral?" The second he dropped that, the timeline blew up all over again. That moment flipped the entire situation. Ross went from looking untouchable to getting joked on like he walked into a live comedy show. At this point, fans started treating the whole thing like it was some kind of showdown. DC versus Ross, comedian versus rapper. But what made it even crazier is that DC wasn't even rapping or trying to outbar anybody. He was just talking straight from the heart, and it still hit harder than Ross's whole response.
You may never know who knows somebody, who kin to somebody, who saw what you posted. Because you're gonna have to stand on business.
That's real charisma right there. The type you can't buy, fake, or rehearse. DC's jokes were sharp, his tone steady, and he looked completely relaxed like he was having the time of his life. Meanwhile, Ross started dropping motivational talk, saying things like, "Real bosses don't entertain clowns," trying to save face. But people weren't fooled. They could see Ross was frustrated, and the comments kept reminding him DC had the upper hand. Then the internet made it even messier. Fans started digging up old clips of Ross getting roasted by other celebrities, and they remixed them with DC's new lines playing in the background. Chaos everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram.
He and Ross, which they good buddies, okay? They gay. Both. Eddie and Ross.
All flooded with edits showing Ross catching jokes while DC's punchlines echoed through the video. It turned into one giant meme storm. Some fans even said DC reminded them of those classic Def Comedy Jam legends who could break someone down with just a few words. Suddenly, this wasn't just a roast, it became a whole cultural moment. Rappers, influencers, YouTubers, everybody jumped in with reactions, and the most surprising part, DC never looked bothered at all. He was laughing the whole time, treating it like pure fun.
And that wasn't the biggest moment. Now, that's one of the viral moments, but Boosie episode 8 million. Got Country Wayne, shit like 6, 7 million. Like, we do numbers, we do analytics. Our analytics, we was the biggest before you came, and we was the biggest afterwards. So you always got room to come back to be on the biggest podcast in the world, correct? You dig what I'm saying? But when you call a spade,
DC even joked that he might turn the whole situation into a full comedy special and call it Lemon Pepper Laughter. Fans went crazy saying if he actually drops that, it's an instant classic. Meanwhile, Ross looked frustrated every time he went live, trying to switch the topic to business, property, and his whole self-made journey. But nobody was listening because the chat kept flooding with lemon emojis and DC's quotes. Even big names like 21 Savage and DaBaby were out here liking posts that showed love to DC. And that's when everyone realized the internet had officially chosen a side. Some fans started breaking it down deeper, saying this whole moment revealed something bigger. Rappers like Ross aren't used to getting clowned by comedians who understand how to run the online conversation. DC's humor threw Ross completely off balance. No matter how successful Ross is, no amount of money could protect him from becoming the main joke on the timeline.
Big homie. First of all, you know it loves. Second of all, I got to call a spade when it's a spade. You say you did it for free. Everybody do it for free, Ross. You ain't the only nigga who did it for free. T.I. do it for free. Busta Rhymes did it for free. Snoop Dogg did it for free. Everybody who sat on that couch.
This is a new era where being real, relatable, and funny beats being flashy and stiff, and DC proved that loud and clear. He didn't need luxury cars or a giant mansion behind him. All he needed was his phone, his timing, and that sharp wit.
Ross, big homie. First of all, you know it loves. Second of all, I got to call a spade when it's a spade. You say You did it for free. Everybody do it for free, Ross.
And that was enough to shake a rap mogul's image without even trying. Still, some Ross supporters tried to defend him, saying DC was chasing clout or trying to go viral off a well-known name. But that argument didn't hold up because DC already built his own empire. From comedy to acting to producing, he's been stacking wins for years. He's been in hit shows, movies, and platforms where his talent speaks for itself, so nobody could say he was just trying to ride a wave. DC isn't some random newcomer trying to get attention. He's already proven himself. So when he joked on Ross, it didn't feel like he was taking shots upward. It felt like two heavy personalities meeting on equal ground in the digital arena. And when it came down to going bar for bar, or really joke for joke, DC simply outshined him with cleaner timing and sharper delivery.
But you didn't eat it. And we respect when shit to do, bro. Just tell us as soon as you come in, hey, little homies, I got an hour. Bet we gonna try to get you in, man. We gonna try to get you in about 45 minutes so you can make it to your next destination. Don't pull up, act like you doing us a favor, and then just leave her without saying something. Just say something so we can know what's going on, gang. We ain't tripping. We'll push back up. Your team, we called your team. We called the person who we called when you was on the way. Guess what they said? We don't know what.
The timing made everything even funnier because Ross has been getting called out lately for acting disconnected online. He's been flexing nonstop, bragging about possessions while regular people are dealing with real struggles and fans have been side-eyeing him for it. So when DC came with those jokes, they landed extra hard because they had truth mixed in. He said what a lot of folks were already whispering. Ross might have the money, but he's starting to look corny. That's why this moment blew up so big. It wasn't just entertainment, it felt like a reality check wrapped in comedy. And that's the true magic of DC Young Fly. He knows how to balance humor with honesty in a way that makes people laugh while also making them think. That's a skill not many people have, and Ross completely underestimated how strong that can be. Ross thought he could brush DC off like he was dealing with a regular internet commenter, but DC flipped the whole situation into a cultural moment that showed just how shaky Ross's online image really is. The wild part, DC didn't even need to cuss or say anything personal. He relied on natural charisma, sharp timing, and confidence that felt real. Now that everything is settling down, this entire Rick Ross versus DC Young Fly moment is starting to look like a turning point in celebrity culture. Fans everywhere are calling it the roast that humbled the boss. And honestly, that title fits perfectly. And honestly, that might be the most accurate way to describe it, because no matter how much Ross tried to spin the story, the truth is DC owned this whole situation from beginning to end. The way he handled everything showed that sometimes the biggest mic drop doesn't come from a rapper in a studio, it comes from a comedian with a phone, confidence, and fearless energy. Right after DC's last response blew up online, Ross went quiet for a few days. You could tell he was trying to regroup and steady himself, because when he finally posted again, it was all business-focused content. Wingstop promos, Maybach photos, and his usual boss talk messages. But fans weren't fooled for a second. They saw that silence and said he was taking the L. Meanwhile, DC's momentum just kept shooting up. He started trending everywhere again after clips surfaced of him performing at a comedy show. And of course, he used the moment to joke about Ross live on stage. He said, "Rick Ross tried to check me, but I checked his cholesterol." And the crowd exploded with laughter. That clip spread across every platform instantly, and Ross turned into a walking punchline all over again. It's wild because Ross built his whole image around dominance, being untouchable, being the biggest boss in every room. But DC cracked that whole vibe with jokes that felt a little too real for people to brush off. Fans even pointed out how Ross had been dropping little subliminal comments at different people for months, from rappers to podcasters. But nobody ever clapped back with the type of heat DC brought.
Our show. You went and did a podcast. A white podcast. You sat your ass right there for almost 2 hours.
And didn't leave.
And you talked. And the white folk asked your ass, was you a correctional officer?
Yeah.
We would have never asked you no shit like that, nigga, 'cause we got respect for you.
Right.
And you sat right there and you answered that question so eloquently,
Right.
eloquently.
Eloquently, right.
You dig what I'm saying?
DC didn't just respond, he took over the entire moment. Front of the entire internet. That's exactly what people mean when they say the online world levels the playing field. Fame and money don't guarantee respect anymore. Authenticity is what hits the hardest now, and DC tapped into that perfectly. Then the memes started going nuclear. People edited videos of Ross walking into Wingstop with DC's voice roasting him in the background. Folks made fake Wingstop Employee of the Month posts posters with DC's face on them, and even AI remixes turning DC's jokes into full-blown diss tracks. The creativity was insane. Fans turned this whole situation into a digital show, like a comedy boxing match where the crowd got to swing too. Ross couldn't catch a break because every move he made turned into more meme material. At one point, he tried posting a video flexing at his mansion again, showing off a pool filled with champagne bottles like it was supposed to save the day. But DC's supporters flooded the comments instantly. One person said, "You can't buy a comeback." Another wrote, "DC owns this pool now." The comment section went wild. It was rough for Ross because even entertainment blogs jumped in, posting headlines like "DC Young Fly outshines Rick Ross in viral feud." That's how deep the situation got. Ross went from controlling the story to being the story himself. And the craziest part, DC didn't even have to take it to a negative place to make it land. What really set DC apart is how he kept everything funny, clean, and clever. He didn't drag it into anything dark or personal. He just used quick wit, timing, and pure charisma to flip the whole internet in his favor. That's a rare talent, and everybody felt it loud and clear. DC never said a word about Ross's family, his health, or crossed a single boundary. And that's exactly why fans respected the whole thing. It was pure classic roasting, sharp, spontaneous, and straight up hilarious. Deep down, even Ross had to know DC wasn't trying to hurt him. It was just an entertainer defending himself with the gift he's known for. But ego is a tricky thing, and Ross's pride made it tough for him to laugh along, especially now that the whole internet is calling DC the undefeated roast champ. This isn't the first time DC made someone look silly with humor, but this might be the biggest W of his entire career so far. He didn't just win the internet, he gained even more respect across the entertainment world. Celebs like Mike Epps, DL Hewley, and even Kevin Hart reportedly showed love, saying DC represents the new wave of comedy. Fearless, quick, and funny all at once. This feud also showed how fast the online world can flip a narrative. A few years back, nobody would have guessed a comedian could make a rap mogul look this outmatched, but that's where culture is now. Wit beats wealth. People connect with energy, honesty, and realness more than flashy talk or non-stop flexing, and DC embodies all of that. That's why his audience keeps growing by the day. He's relatable, unfiltered, and naturally entertaining. He doesn't take himself too seriously, and weirdly enough, that's exactly why people do take him seriously. Meanwhile, Ross might bounce back eventually. He's still a legend in music and business. But the internet won't forget this moment anytime soon. Every time he tries to flex online now, someone's gonna drop a lemon pepper joke or a DC quote in the comments without hesitation. It's stamped into online culture forever. This whole roast went way beyond regular entertainment. It turned into something symbolic, showing that nobody, no matter how powerful or successful they are, is safe from getting clowned if they start moving too cocky. And here's the wild part. People online are already whispering that DC and Ross might end up working together. Some say they could do a podcast or even drop a comedy skit to flip the tension into a bag. If they actually team up, it could be legendary. Just imagine DC walking through Wingstop cracking jokes while Ross plays the serious straight-face role. Fans would lose their minds over that. Both of these guys are smart enough to know that controversy brings views and views bring money. So who knows what might happen next? But until that day comes, DC is sitting comfortably with the win. His timing, confidence, and non-stop humor turned a small online jab into a full-blown career highlight. Ross learned the hard way that you can't outshine someone who's naturally funny and naturally sharp, no matter how many luxury cars or huge mansions you show off online. At the end of the day, the people decided, and this time, the crown went to the comedian. DC showed everybody that laughter always wins, especially when it comes with truth behind it. His name is ringing louder than ever right now, while Ross got a reminder that even the biggest boss can take a digital hit when they pick the wrong opponent. Subscribe, like, share, and drop a comment. Who do you think really won this one? See you in the next video.